Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, can you also please confirm if the screen is visible? Okay, okay, guys, let's get it started. Let us do a small recap. Yesterday, we were discussing about the do while loop. Do while loop. Right? This is one of the looping concepts, right? So, comparatively, when you compare the do while loop with the while loop, okay, the behavior of the do while loop is completely different. There is no correlation between do while loop and the while loop. So while loop, there is no guarantee for the statement to get executed. For example, in the while loop, if you have any statements placed inside the body of the while loop, right? If the condition is found to be false, the statement will never get executed. But that is not the case with the do while. At any point of time, okay, the expression will always, the body of the loop will always get executed at any point of time, no matter the condition is true or false. Because first the body of the loop will get executed, then the conditional check is going to happen, right? So we are going to, there are so many used cases for the do while loop. We will discuss each and every used case. And I was also giving like the a kind of real-time analogy, which was like the airport example. So when you enter the airport, ticket checking will be done right before boarding the flight. Okay, you can just replicate this, or you can convert this analogy to the Java while loop, right? First a conditional check will be done, then the body of the while loop will get executed, right? So the typical railway example, right? When you visit, when you want to board any train, for example, right? Usually you don't need to go through the ticket checking things in the entry level. But in the destination, when you want to when you're deboarding the train, in the destination there are high chances that at the exit level you might be checked for tickets by the ticket collector. It won't happen regularly, but this is how it happens. This is how it works in our country, right? So this can be typically converted to, this example can be directly converted to the do while loop in Java, right? So we have seen this example. So we were discussing about this example. But yesterday, so when we convert this directly to the do while loop, right? So we are getting the same output. Output is not getting affected. We are getting the same output, right? But internally, how many times this while loop is getting called, how many times the body of the statement is getting called, that needs to be discussed first before understanding this, right? So let us actually let us get into the topic today. Let me open my, okay, let me save this program. Okay, so let us do the full-fledged comparison between for loop, while loop, and the do while loop. For loop versus while loop versus do while loop, the full-fledged comparison. For loop versus while loop versus do while loop, right? So let us bring in the for loop here. So this is going to be very interesting. Just try to pay some attention here. So when I say integer I equal to 1, I is lesser than or equal to 5, or let me take it as 3, I plus plus. Okay, a very simple for loop. Very simple for loop. Okay, this is the expression 1, this is the expression 2, this is the expression 3, right? So inside this I am taking a simple statement like system.out.println, right? Hello, I think you can guess the output. What is output now? What is output for this? What is output? 3 times hello, correct, exactly. So we know this already. We it is not necessary to discuss this once again, but there is a takeaway here. Okay? So 3 times hello is getting displayed in the console. That is completely fine, no issues. Okay, So now we need to understand the control flow. We know the control flow. I mean, we have already understood about the control flow. But when I ask you how many times the expression one is getting executed, same program, this is for loop. Okay. Can you give me the count now? How many times the integer I equal to 1? Okay. How many times the control, the main thread is trying to reach this particular expression one? I can also say that how many times the expression 1 is getting executed, how many times expression 3 is getting executed, how many times expression 3 is getting executed, how many times the body of the for loop is getting executed. Can you give me the count? We'll compare for loop, while loop and the do while loop. Expression 1, how many times? Expression 2, how many times? Expression 3, how many times? Body of the for loop, how many times? Can you count and give me the answer with this example? Okay, I have got answers already. Chaitanya says 143, 1433, Jyoti says 1433. What about others? Darshini, you got my question. Samyukta, Darshini, Raji B, Shashwant. Yes, 1433. 1433. Okay, okay. Okay, the question is, so this is the control, right? Right? So when you start executing this logic, okay, on top of the for loop, firstly the control will try to execute this expression 1, right? After executing this expression 1, the control will jump to expression 2, right? So it means I can say that this is executing only once, right? Again, there is no chance for this controller to get back here. It will not go back here, right? From top to bottom, in the sequential order, it will come. As soon as it encounters for loop, expression 1 will be executed only once. Because of this execution, how do we know this is getting executed? Internally, a memory will be allocated for a value 1 which gets assigned to the variable I. That's it. After that, the control will never go back here. So I can say that the count of the expression 1 is 1 only, right? So when I talk about expression 2, right, this is going to return true for 3 times and false for 1 time. 3 times this get executed for true conditions, and for the last condition false. 3 false, 3 trues and 1 false. So the expression 2 is being counted as what? 4, right? And this is the expression 3, right? This is the expression 3. I can say that the expression 3, the count of the expression 3 is always equal to the count of the body of the for loop executions. Both should be equal always, yes or no? If this is executing for 3 times, it is obvious that the body of the for loop is also executing for the 3 times. Right? Making sense? Everyone? Yes, no? Okay, let me repeat this once again. So, the control comes here, right? The memory blocks, a memory block will be created, right? The value I will be assigned, value 1 will be assigned to the variable what? To the variable I, right? So this is typically talking about the expression 1, right? That's it. After that, control will jump here from here to here, right? So the condition is found to be true, right? So it has got now, if it is true, it will get access to the body of the for loop. True body of the for loop. Allow will be executed, right? So let me keep the count of this allow as 1. 1. For now it is 1. Right? After executing allow, the control will go here. Okay. Let me give the count of the expression 3 as 1. Right? After executing this, right, if you look into the memory, the I will be converted to 2, incremented to 2 because of I plus plus, right? And again the control will come here, right? 2 is lesser than or equal to 3. Okay, entry, it gets access to the body of the for loop, right? So this statement will get executed, right? Let me count it as 2. Here, so the count will be 2 this time, right? So from here, so again it has to go back here, incrementation is happening, right? Now this becomes 3, right? After this, what happens? Control will come here. So 3 is getting compared to 3 itself. It is true. Body of the for loop, right? So this allow will be executed 3 times. Count is 3, 1 2 3, and again from here. So if this is 3, this is also 3, right? So if the body is executing for 3 times, the increment will also happen for 3 times, right? So now for the third time, on the third time, the 3 becomes 4, right? Now 4 will be compared. 4 is, it is like 4 is lesser than or equal to 3. It is not, it is greater than or equal to 3, right? The control will come out here, right? If you talk about the expression 2, 3 times it is returning true, 1 time it is returning false. So totally 4 numbers, right? It is getting executed for 4 times, right? Can I write 4 next to expression 2, right? Expression 1 is getting executed only once. After this, the control will never go back to expression 1, right? So expression 1 is always 1, right? Now expression 3 times, 1 2 3 3, body of the, sorry, expression 3, this is 1 2 3, body of the for loop is also 3, right? Can I come to a conclusion like, so I can conclude 2 things here. I can conclude 2 things. First conclusion is what? The count number of body of the for loop is always going to equal to the expression 3. I can give this conclusion. Second conclusion is, okay, let me keep it as expression 3. Expression 3, right? So second conclusion is what? Right? The expression 2, the count of the expression 2 is always like count of the expression 3 or count of the body of the for loop plus 1. I can say that count of expression 3 plus 1, because we have to count false also. Because of this false count only, the control is coming out of the for loop. So this is the conclusion. Can I give this conclusion? So it is like the body of the for loop, the count of the body of the for loop is always going to be equal to the count of the expression 3. Yes or no, everyone? Are you getting this? A small logic. Say yes or no. Right? And the second conclusion says, right, the count of the expression 2 is always going to be, one more than the count of the expression 3, right? If the expression 3 is counted to be 3, the expression 2 is like 4, 3 plus 1, right? So when I say that, like when I ask you a question like, if expression 3 is getting executed for 5 times, what is the count of the expression 2? Can you answer this? A correlation is there. When I say expression 3 is getting executed, expression 3 is getting executed for 5 times. Can you find the count of the expression 2? Are you getting my question? 6, yes sir. 5 plus 1. That 1 is representing false count, right? Are you getting my point? So here we are just trying to find the correlation between the number of counts. By looking at this, okay, if you find that the expression 3 is the expression 3 or the body of the for loop is getting executed for the 5 times, all it means is that the expression 2 is getting executed for 5 plus 1 times, 1 times more. Making sense? So when I try to convert this, like, I can also say that we can prepare a cheat code for this. Now in future you can remember this. That's why I'm doing this. Okay, I can also say that if the body of the for loop is found to be counted for n times, right? So and again expression 3 also is going to be same, right? N times, right? So what could be the value for expression 2, count value for expression 2? Anyone? N plus 1. Good Jyotian. N plus 1 times. N plus 1 times. This is a formula, right? We can arrive this, we have just arrived on this formula by understanding the count flow, number of counts. Okay, now we can also say that the expression 1 is always going to be 1. When anyone is asking you, yes, the body of the for loop is getting executed for 10 times. Okay, you just replace the 10, substitute the 10 in place of n. Okay, you will get the count value of expression body of the for loop, count value of expression 3 as well as the count value of expression 2. This is 1 is always going to be common, right? It will not get affected. Okay, can you give me any real-time example if you ask me? Okay, let me keep this outside. Okay, so instead of I can say system.out.println, instead of hello I can say expression 1. If this particular place is getting executed only one time, it means that I need to see the output in the console only once for expression 1. Yes or no? Right? Secondly, in the expression 3, I am saying expression 3 itself. Okay, here I am saying body of the for loop. I hope you are able to follow this program. We have discussed about this in the beginning of the when I was introducing about the for loop. I have discussed about this already. So you can replace anything here, right? I'm placing the I++ here. But if I run this, by looking at the output, we can conclude that. Let me open my command prompt. C drive cd space java 3 java c space test.java. Okay, one error is there. Okay, I think this is the error. Okay, compilation is successful. I think you're able to see compilation is successful. Java space test. Can you see expression 1 only once? Body of the for loop 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Count is matching. Expression 3 times. I can conclude that the count is going to be same for body of the for loop as well as expression 3. Yes, and expression 1 is getting executed only once. What does it mean? Right? This is a real time. This is a proof, actual proof. Making sense? So we don't get for the expression 2 because we there is no such thing that we can find this for expression 2, but it is making sense, right? Expression 1, it is printing only once. It means execution is happening only once. Expression 3 is getting printed for 3 times. And the body of the for loop is also getting printed for the 3 times. It means both are same, right? Making sense? Shall we proceed with the while loop now? Everyone? Yeah. So while loop is also same, guys. So there is no, what we call it as, no difference at all. Even for the while loop, it is going to be same. Okay, but should not get any confusion here. Let me write a program on top of while loop. Same program I am taking. Okay. While. So over here we need to place the conditional check, right? So I am copying this conditional check, I am pasting it here. Okay, this is representing expression 2. In the while loop, this place is meant for expression 2. Okay, so this will always be outside. Int I equal to 1 is always going to be outside, right? And body of the for loop is always inside. Body of the for loop is always inside, and I plus plus. I am just doing the direct conversion. Let me remove it. Okay, this is the program. So this is expression 1, right? And this is expression 3. So expression 1 is talking about initialization or the declaration and the initialization, D and I. Right? So expression 2 is always going to talk about conditional check. Conditional check. Right? Expression 3 is always going to talk about increment or decrement. Okay, now you tell me, do we get any changes here for expression 1, expression 2, expression 3? If I ask you how many times the expression 1 will get executed, how many times the expression 2 gets executed, how many times the expression 3 gets executed, how many times the body of the for loop gets executed? What is your answer here? Based on your answer, I will give you my explanation. I hope my question is making sense. Same, it is not going to that. Yeah, waiting for your answer. Yes, Jyoti, correct. Samyukta, everyone. Rajibi, Darshini. Okay. Okay, let me take the note, paintbrush. Okay, this is my program. Okay, let's find the correlation between these 3 expressions. Okay. The main thread will get access to the main method. So this is the first instruction. I'm directly coming to the first instruction. So this is always going to get executed for the only one time. Since it is outside the while loop, right? It is going to the main thread is going to follow the sequential execution. It encounters I equal to 1. Okay, value 1 will be assigned to the variable I. Okay, after this, what happens after this? Control will come here. Conditional check. Right? I is lesser than or equal to 3. Right? Don't you think that the body of the for loop gets executed for 3 times? On the 4th time, the condition will be found to be false, so that the control will be kicked out of the while loop. For the 3 times, it gets executed. For the 4th time, false. I can also say that, assuming this is expression 1, I can say that it is getting executed only once, right? Assuming this is expression 2, I can say that this is 3 times, 3 truths and 1 false. Body will get executed for all the truths. How many truths are here? 3 truths, so 3 counts, right? And this I plus plus is also inside the body only, right? So the same value will be applied to this 3, right? Don't you think so? So yeah, the cheat code is very simple, right? When I say the conditional check, when I say the body of the for loop is getting executed for n times, can I also say that the conditional check is happening for n plus 1 times? Making sense, everyone? So both are same, right? The correlationship between the conditional check and the what we call it as the body of the for loop is similar like the correlation that we found in with the while loop, right? Making sense? Now the actual thing is coming. Okay, actual concept, do while loop. Now I'm taking do while loop. Same example I will take. Okay, let me take it do. This is a syntax for do while. Okay, so this instructions, this body should be here. Now here is the actual takeaway that we are going to discuss now. Try to pay some attention. This is what expression 1, right? Expression 1, right? So this is what body of the for loop. Both are body of the for loop. I can say that this is expression 3 here. Increment, right? Expression 3. So this is expression 2. Can you tell me the count of expression 1, expression 2, expression 3 and the body of the for loop? Think and tell me. Everyone, Raji, Jyotish, Shashwant, Chaitanya, Sweta, Samyukta. Good. Who said 1434? 1433, 1433. Okay, good. Good. So, okay, it is like let us keep your answers with you. Okay, let us do the tracing. Then we will come to the conclusion. Okay. So this is our question. Let me remove this. Okay, please pay some attention here. We will find the correlation. Okay. Okay. Int I equal to 1. So the value 1 will be assigned to what? The value 1 will be assigned to the variable I. Value 1 will get assigned to the variable I. Right? So the control will be transferred to the do. It is encoding do loop. Okay. Directly it will get into the body. Right? So what is happening? Body, this statement will be displayed in the console. Now focus here, guys. Focus here. This is console. Body of the for loop. Since it is body of the for loop, I'm keeping it as body of the for loop. Actually, this is a body of the loop. No, I don't think it will make any confusion. Okay. So this will be displayed in the console. Okay. After this, what happens? The control will be transferred here. What is happening in I plus plus? Right? I plus plus means what? The value of I will get incremented to 2. Now focus. After executing the body, the conditional check is happening. Here I is lesser than or equal to 3. What? I is lesser than or equal. What is the value of I? 2, right? Latest value of I is what? 2 is lesser than or equal to 3, right? 2 is lesser than or equal to 3. Is it true or false? True. Right? So first time it is returning true. Right? So the control, if it is true, the control will be transferred back to the do block. Second time. Output is what? Body of the for loop. body of the for loop. After this, what happens? I plus plus. I plus plus is what? Incrementation, right? 2 becomes 3. Right? After this, what? Conditional check. 3 will be compared with 3 itself this time. 3 will be compared. 3 is lesser than or equal to 3. So one condition is getting satisfied, so it is true only. Right? Second time it is returning true. Right? If it is true, second time it is also true. Go back to the do loop. Body of the for loop. Don't you think so? Body of the for loop will be printed. Body of the for loop is printed. After this, what is happening? Incrementation is happening. I plus plus, right? 3 becomes what? 3 becomes 4. 3 becomes 4. Right? After this, the comparison, right? 4 is lesser than, it will be compared with what? 4 is lesser than or equal to 3. It is not lesser than or equal to 3, guys. It is false, right? It's going to return false. Right? So here I can say false. So if it is false, if the pointer is encountering false, like if the conditional check is returning false, it will not go in this direction. It will come out here, right? Come out here. Now you do the counting. How many times while loop, this expression to got executed? 4 times. 3 times only, no? 3 times only, right? 3 times. Right? How many times body of the loop got executed? 3 times, right? 3 times. Right? How many times expression 1 is getting executed? It is usually 1 time. No issues, no doubts about this. It is usually 1 time. Right? So how many times this expression 3 is getting used? 3 times. It is going to be same as the system.out.println, right? This is also going to be 3 times, right? 3 times. Now you tell me the count. Is it 1433? Everyone? Or 1333? Are you getting this? Jyoti, yes. Who has said 1433, 1433? Are you able to get this now? So can I come to a conclusion that the correlation between the expression 2 and the body of the do loop is going to be same always, yes or no? If the body of the for loop, for example, when I say that the body of the for loop is getting executed for n times, the body of the for loop is getting executed for n times, the conditional check, the expression 2 will also get executed for n times. Making sense? But there will be a false, but n times only it gets executed, yes or no? Previously, for the while loop and as well as for the for loop, the relation is always same. But when you come to the do while loop, the relationship is getting changed. So this is the difference that we need to identify. Making sense? Yes, no? Everyone, I think you are getting this now. This is a major difference. Very major difference. It is not a visible difference, but this is the major difference. Visibility is less, but this is a major difference. The count is going to be same for the conditional check as well as the body of the for loop. Right? So let me increase the complexity now. Right? So now I am taking the nested for loop. So this is the ordinary for loop. Now let us take nested for loop. For integer I equal to 1, I is lesser than or equal to keep it simple, I am taking it to I plus plus. Okay. Next, for int j equal to 1, j is lesser than or equal to 2, j plus plus. System dot out dot println instructions. Okay, so now you tell me, forget about the outer for loop. Okay, forget about the outer for loop. Tell me, in the inner for loop, how many times this will get executed, how many times this will get executed, and how many times this will get executed, and how many times this will get executed. Can you answer this? Very simple question. If you have understood the previous concept, this answering this is going to be very easy. In the inner for loop, right, we have expression 1, this is for expression 2, and this is for expression 3. So this is the body of the inner for loop. How many times the expression 1 of inner for loop gets executed, how many times it gets executed, how many times it gets executed. Anyone has answers for this? So tomorrow is going to be the last class of this for loops, do while loop. 1332. 1322. Everyone are giving the same answers. Okay, let's run the, okay. So you people are wrong actually. Okay, let us debug this. Let us debug this. So let us do a count from my side. Let us do a count. Okay. So int I equal to 1, right? Int I equal to 1. After this, what conditional check will happen? 1 is lesser than or equal to 2. It will get access to the for loop, outer for loop. So again, it is encountering another for loop. It says int j equal to 1, right? So j is lesser than or equal to 2. Conditional check is going to be true, right? Instructions will be displayed in the console. So this loop will run for 2 times. This loop is going to run for 2 times. Let me keep a circle. Focus here. This loop will run for 2 times. Because 2 times it is encountering false and the third time it is encountering 0. Right? After running this loop for the 2 times, and again what happens? Okay, the control will be transferred here again, right? So this 1 becomes 2. Again, second time also it is getting executed, right? To keep it very simple, I am saying I equal to 1. So, okay. I is the value 1 is initialized to I. Instead of saying I equal to 1, I can say like this. Okay. Right? Conditional check. I is lesser than or equal to 2. No issues. Let me write that also. 1 is lesser than or equal to 2. It is going to return true itself, right? Okay. It gets inside. Now j equal to 1. Now focus here. This is check. Right? J equal to 1. Right? Again, for this j, conditional check will happen. J is lesser than or equal to 2. Right? So j is like 1 is lesser than or equal to 2. It's going to return true itself. Right? So the control will be transferred to the body of the for loop. Instructions will be displayed in the console. What will be displayed in the console? Instructions. Let us assume that this is a console. Instructions. Right? After displaying these instructions, okay, it will again go to j++. J++ is doing what? 1 is becoming true here. 2 here. Incrementation is happening. Right? After this, conditional check. True will be compared to true. True will be compared to true itself. Return true. Right? Instructions. It will come to the body of the for loop. Instructions will be displayed in the console. Now listen. Instructions. Okay. After this, j plus plus. 2 becomes what? 2 becomes 3. 2 is becoming 3. Okay. So 3 gets compared again. 3 gets compared with 2 itself, right? Over here, 3 gets compared with 2. It is going to return false. Right? If it is returning false, again the control will go back to the outer for loop, right? From here, this is going to return false. Okay, it will come here. Again from here it will go back here, right? I plus plus, right? So this 1 becomes 2, right? This 1 becomes 2, right? And again from here it will go here. 1 is compared with 2 again. 1 is lesser or equal to 2. It's going to return true, right? From again from here it will encounter again the for loop, right? Second time it is going to encounter, right? Don't you think so? Second time it is going to encounter, right? Right? So it says j equal to 1. Okay. Now again the j is freshly getting initialized to 1 itself. Now value of j is getting initialized to what? 1. Right? So this 3 comparison will happen again, right? 1 is lesser than or equal to 2. Right? This 3 comparison will happen again, right? For these 3 comparisons, again the body of the for loop has to execute 2 instructions. Instructions. Right? After executing this inner for loop, the control will go back here. Right? I is the 1 is sorry, this is 2 is lesser than or equal to 2. Okay. So 2 will get incremented to 3. 3 is lesser than or equal to, this time it is going to return false. Right? Conditional check is failing. Now it will come here directly. Right? If you see the count of the inner for loop, right, it is getting executed for 6 times. I mean, the conditional check of the inner for loop is getting executed for 6 times. Yes or no? 6 times, no? 4 trues, 2 false. And again instructions are getting executed for 4 times. Are you getting this? First you got this? Everyone? So the inner for loop will execute over and over again, depends upon the execution of the outer for loop. Don't you think so? It is not one time execution. Okay, first even though the control starts from here, okay, this loop gets executed for 2 times. Again the control has to go back here itself. Right? For the second incrementation of the outer for loop, for the second conditional check of the outer for loop, again the control is sent inside the body of the outer for loop, which means this inner for loop needs to get the execution done once again, right? Execution is getting restarted once again, right? Making sense, everyone? Yes, no? Raji, Chaitanya, Shashwant, Jyoti, Sweta. Don't you think so? Okay, people who don't understand, I will repeat this in a different way. Okay, same program. Okay. Now we focus here. So can I say that this is forget about the inner for loop? I can also say that this is the body of the outer for loop. Yes or no? This is the body of the outer for loop. Okay, just come from the outer for loop perspective. From the outer for loop perspective, how many times I will get executed from the outer for loop? How many times expression 1 will get executed? How many times this expression 2 gets executed? How many times expression 3 gets executed? Just you answer that to me first. Everyone. From the outer for loop perspective, how many times expression 1, expression 2, expression 3 and the body of the for loop gets executed from the outer for loop perspective? Answer it to me. You will get it now. Okay, it means, okay, just forget about this guy. Forget about inner for loop. If I remove this, how many times this outer for loop gets executed? Think this complete for loop as a statement, one single statement or one single instruction. I want you to answer me how many times expression 1, expression 2, expression 3 gets executed. Forget about the body. Expression 1, expression 2, expression 3, how many times it gets executed? 1, 3, 1, 3, 2. Yes, correct. To be specific, 1, 3, 2. Chaitanya is also said 1, 3, 2, 2. Okay. Let me mark the counts here. Let me mark the count. Okay. So this is going to be 1. Okay. This is going to be 3. Okay. 1, 3. This is going to be 2. If this is 2, this complete for loop will repeated for 2 times. Yes or no? If you just collate this, or if you just collectively take this as one instruction, again this complete for loop has to get executed for 2 times. Yes or no? I have already said you, right? We have found the relation in the in the for loop. Just now we found the relation. Okay, the expression 3 is always going to equal to the body of the for loop. Expression 3 is always going to equal to the body of the for loop. This is 2, this is also going to be 2. If this is 3, this is also going to be 3. If that is the case, so we have just marked this as 2. It means, don't you think that this inner for loop needs to get executed for 2 times, for 2 occasions? Right? Now you tell me the correlation. Okay, inside I can also say that in the inner for loop, the expression 1 will get executed for 1 time. This get executed for 2 times, no 2 times, 3 times. This get executed for 2 times. So this is 3 and this is 2 and this is also 2, right? So the same thing is getting repeated for 2 times again. Individually in this particular inner for loop, when I talk about this particular inner for loop, individually this expression 1 is getting executed for 1 time, this is for 3 times, this is for 2 times, and this is also for 2 times, and the whole process is getting repeated for the second time, right? With respect to the outer for loop, again this process gets repeated for second time. Can I also say that the relation of inner for loop is like, not this one. Can I also say that the expression 1 into 2, one into 2 and 3. Okay, this 3 has to get repeated for 2 times. 3 into 2. Right? And the expression 3, 2 into 2. And the body of the for loop again 2 into 2. Okay, so it is going to give the output how many times expression 1 of the inner for loop is getting executed. So this is the conclusion, right? 1 into 2, 2 times. Expression 1 of the inner for loop is getting executed for 2 times. And conditional check expression 2 is getting executed for 6 times. And expression 3 for 4 times. And expression 4 is for 4 times. Right? So we have 4 times. This 4 times is representing for trues. 4 trues and additional 2 falses. Making sense? Everyone? Yes, no? When you talk about the outer for loop, it's very simple. But when you're talking about the inner for loop, okay, it is like you need to consider the number of execution or number of repetitions that is happening, that is taking care by the outer for loop. It depends upon the outer for loop, right? You can form the relation. Okay, we have to form the relation with the by multiplying the number of executions of the outer for loop, right? So when you consider this inner for loop individually, no issues. But you have to consider this inner for loop with respect to the outer for loop, right? So the expression 3 of the outer for loop, if it is getting executed for 2 times, it means that the body of the outer for loop, this is also the body of the outer for loop, right? It is also going to get executed for 2 times. But we are executing the again the for loop for 2 times. It means the count will be doubled, right? Making sense? Yes, no? Only Jyoti and Chaitanya said Samutta, Jyoti, N, Raji B, Darshini. We will see few more examples. We will get this nicely, no issues, right? So can I also say that, okay, before even finding a relationship between this, now you answer me this, you will get this. Just increasing the count, 3, 3. Just give me the count of how many times this will get executed. Just give me this. Give me this. Okay, if you want me to give the real-time proof, I can say like, let me keep this outside. J equal to 1, system dot out dot println is what? This is inner expression 1, inner expression 1. Let me keep it as 2 itself. Let me keep it as 2 itself. Let me keep this j plus plus here. Okay, here I can say system dot out dot println inner expression 3. Okay, body of inner for loop. So this is, we are finding the number of executions for expression 1, 2 and 3 for the inner for loop. Okay, this will give you the clear picture. If I run this, you are going to get this. J plus plus. I am missing semicolon. What I am missing here? Okay, if you count this, you'll get to know. So expression, inner expression 1, see the count of inner expression 1, this is first time, this is second time. Matching, right? 1 into 2, 2. This is matching, right? So see the count of expression 3, 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, and 4 time. Matching, right? Expression 3 4 times. Count of the expression 3 was what? 4 times. Right? And body of the for loop is for 4 times. 1, 2, 3. Thank you for rejoining. My screen is visible, I guess. Okay. It is making sense now. By this output, it is clear that how many times the inner for loop is getting executed. Okay. If you want to calculate the number of executions for the inner for loop, it is not the direct calculation. It depends upon the outer for loop executions. You need to take the count of the outer for loop. You multiply that count with the expression 1, expression 2, expression 3 of the inner for loop. Right? Making sense so far, everyone? I hope it is making some sense now, little clear now. You are getting some clarity now. So the reason why we are discussing all this is we need to focus on the control flow. Control flows are really important. Control flow, how the control is being flown between each and every statement in Java, especially when you're using loops, how the control flow is being circulated around. So that understanding is very important. Four times, body of the for loop is getting executed for 3 times. So let me keep this in loop. Expression 1 is getting executed for 2 times. Okay, the body of the for loop is getting executed for 4 times. Making sense? Everyone, you're getting the right count, right? Yeah. Making sense? Now you answer me. If you observe the program like this, you will get a lot of knowledge. So now you are going to answer this to me. What is the answer for this? I want you to tell me the number of times the expression 1 is getting executed here in the inner for loop. Number of times the expression 2 is getting executed, and the number of times the expression 3 is getting executed, the number of times the body is getting executed. Answer it to me. Think and answer me, everyone. One four three three. Why Chaitanya 1433? Why Jyoti's 1433? See, this for loop will get see. First try to do the count for outer for loop. Okay, so this conditional check will happen for true, 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 false. So this conditional check expression 2 is getting executed for 4 times in the outer for loop. Okay, but this expression 3 will get executed one time less, right? So 3 times. Multiply this 3 with expression 1 count, expression what we call it as expression 2 count, and expression 3 count. You will get the answer. Usually this will get executed one time, but 1 into 3. You need to consider this also, no? This is 3 times, and this is going to be what? This is going to be 3 into 3 what? 9 times. No, I mean 3 into 4, right? 12 times. This is going to be 9 times. This is going to be 9 times. Right? First you find the count of expression 1, expression 2, expression 3 for the inner for loop. You try to find the count of expression 1, expression 2, expression 3 for the inner for loop. What answer you will get for the inner for loop for expression 1, expression 2, expression 3? Expression 1 is going to be 1, expression 2 is going to be 4, expression 3 is going to be 3. The body of the for loop is going to be 3, 1, 4, 3, 3, no issues. Okay, after getting this count, trying to find the count of outer for loop expression 3. Try to find this count. This is also 3 times, right? Multiply all this with 3, you will get the answer. Multiply all this with 3. If you do this, right? 3, 12, 9, 9. Don't you think so? Are you getting this? Everyone are wrong. No worries, you will make mistakes. Yeah. One more question. Now this is 5. Think and answer me. Think and answer me. First, you just answer me for the outer for loop. How many times the expression 1, expression get executed? For the outer for loop, just answer it to me. First answer for the outer for loop. Later we'll think about inner for loop. You people are getting confused. 1655. Good, good. 1655. Everyone, what about Samyukta? Do you agree with their answers? Jyoti yes, Darshini, Raji B. 1655. Okay, so here we are getting what? 1655. Okay, find the number of times this expression 3 is getting executed, or the body of the for loop is getting find that. Okay, this is 5 times. 5 times, right? So we can say that outer for loop 1655. Now find the number of times the expression 1, expression 2, expression 3 that is going to get executed for inner for loop. First find this. Now this is for outer for loop. Find separately for inner for loop, then we will do the calculation. Just find separately for inner for loop. So I can say that the inner for loop is also get executed for 1655 separately. Okay, multiply all these values with the expression 3 value 5, right? You will get what? 5, 30, 25, 25. Don't you think so? Do you agree? Good, 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 Jyoti. Jyoti, yes, good, good. Yes, good, Samyukta. Good, good. So now see, by looking at the for loop, can you able to guess now how many times the loop will get loop gets keep repeating the instructions over and over again by looking at the two for loop. If you look at the nested for loop, okay, the idea here is that okay, the control takes a lot of time to perform the execution. It's not an easy execution, right? As soon as the control is entered inside the inner for loop, after completing this, again it will come out to the outer for loop. Again, this inner for loop gets executed. It depends upon the how many times the conditional checks are happening. Yes or no? Right, now you answer this to me. This is 3. Okay, this is 2. Okay, this is 3. Give me the exact count of the inner for loop for all the expressions. Got my question? Exact count of the inner for loop you give me. How many times the expression 1, expression 2 and expression 3 gets executed for the inner for loop? Good, Jyotian. 264. What about others? Do you agree with Jyotian? Samikta, Raji B, Darshini. Darshini, are you there? You are not answering anything. Are you getting any confusion? Please let me know. I will clarify now. Yeah, I'm not finding answers from you. That's why I'm asking you. Okay, Darshini, got it. Okay, so let us analyze this. First, we will find individually for outer for loop. One time. This is going to be 3 times. This is going to be 2 times, and the body is going to be 2 times. Inner for loop. 1 time, 4 time, 3 time. The body is also going to be 3 times. Okay, multiply this with expression 2, expression 3 or the body into 2, right? So we get the count what 2, 8, 6. Got it? Why 6 you got? Did I do any mistake or what? It's 8 only, no? Because 3 times it is going to be true, 1 time false. Do you agree with me? Jyoti, yes. Jyoti and Samikta, do you agree this answer, or am I making any mistake? This is going to be like this conditional check will happen for 4 times. 3 times true, 1 time false, right? That's why 4. If it is 4, this is going to be 3, right? Making sense? Yeah. Okay, now you tell me. Now you tell me. Now we answer this to me. Inner for loop. I want answer for inner for loop. Samikta has already answered 396. Good. You are getting this now, everyone. If you have if you are finding it any difficulties, let me know. Raji B, I'm not getting answers from you. I will explain in a good way. No issues. Right? 3 by 3 and 6. Let me try to confirm that 1 time. So this is getting executed for how many times? 4 times. If this is 4, this is going to be 3. Or for loop 3. Okay. So this is going to be what? 1, 3, and 1, 3, 2. Right? So multiply this with either this 3 or this 3. Okay. 3, 3 is 9, 6. Good, Samikta, good Darshini, good Jyoti, yes, Jyoti, N, okay, and not getting answers from Rajevi. This is how it will be like when you try to find the count of number of expression, count for the expression 1, expression 2, and expression 3. This is how it is going to be calculated. Now we will get to know, as soon as you find the inner for loop or the nested for loop, it means execution is completely dependent upon the execution of the outer for loop. Right? So a lot of problems will make any sense. You can solve quickly a lot of problems on this. Making sense? Right? So tomorrow I will introduce you some good examples, good real-time problems. Okay, and we will also execute these things with while loop as well as the do while loop. Do while loop will be very interesting, guys, very interesting. Okay, don't miss tomorrow's class and the Sunday's class. It is very important for solving the data structures problem. Okay, so we will wind up for the day.